And we are live. Got Nellie here today with me. This is Nellie. Sorry, if you're watching on video on my podcast, I've got my dog Nellie here, and she is visiting, having fun. Welcome to Launch Radio, episode 5. It's going to be short today, because I got to take care of Nellie, right? She's the best. She's a Chihuahua, mostly Chihuahua, Pit Bull in her, mini Poodle, some Maltese. She's mostly Chihuahua. And you're everything. She's the best. She likes to stay up here, just sleep in my lap while I chat with you guys. But this is Nellie, the best. Had her a year and a half. Anyway, here, what do we got on here? Launch Radio, episode 5. Ready to get rolling here. I'm going to keep it to 20 minutes today just because it's been a chaotic week and there's not as much that I have to talk about today, but wanted to get an episode. Normally I do it Tuesdays, but things get out of hand and had to do it Wednesday today. How is everybody doing out there on the web? It's been chaotic. Middle of summer, 4th of July coming up. People are going on vacation, enjoying the time. The news has been slower because those summer months, it starts to slow down a little bit. First I want to say just having Nellie is incredible. Having a dog is incredible. I mean, I grew up with dogs in our family. We had lots of, just all sorts of dogs growing up, but Nellie's the first one that I've had myself. And it really, she's really special. She's a special girl. She's added, a lot to my life. And she is, I've raised her. I got her when she was 3 months old. She's now a year and a half. And we've been through it all together, the ups and downs. And it's been quite an adventure. But, time flies. You look back and you realize you've had your dog this long. It's like, oh my gosh. And just watching her grow up has been really cool. So I'm glad you guys got to meet her briefly. Let's see, what do we have to talk about today? Well, I wanted to say that there's just a lot going on as far as, people are going nuts this week, or as they are every week, about RFK Jr. as a presidential candidate. And it's really quite strange to see because, as I said last week, I know people don't necessarily agree with this, but he is a Democrat, but his support is all among Republicans. And some of his stances are just even far-right belief about vaccines and stuff. And so it really baffles me that anyone would think that he has even a remote shot at getting the nominee when the Democratic Party said in April that they're not even hosting a primary. So it's Biden as far as everybody's concerned. If Biden drops out, it will be somebody else, not named RFK Jr. I can guarantee you that. But it, never absolutes, but 99.9% likely it's not him. So it's surprising to see. He's on there doing push-ups, trying to impress, the right, and he's getting the buzz and the hype, and he loves it, but he knows that it's not gonna work out. But it's a fun show while it's happening. And no, he's different than Trump because GOP people were liking Trump. I know some weren't, but a lot were from early on. And Democrats, there's hardly anybody that supports him on that side. So it's all a bit baffling. That being said, I've been playing around with different apps, and it really is incredible how many apps there are now for everything. There's the basic dating apps, but then you've got, social media. Now there's this app like Gas Buddy where you can get, I guess this has been around a while, but you can get discounts on gas at different places. There's, all the food delivery apps. There's a laundry app for people who want their laundry done. And there's, different ones for health insurance. It's really more and more and more. And you wonder when it's all just going to condense into one, because at least with ADD, it makes my whole world more chaotic having all these apps. Like, I say this about my computer and my apartment. Like, there's just so much chaos that I just want it all to go away and just to be very simplistic in one. So I'm wondering when they're going to condense the apps into one giant app. I was playing around. This is just one of our topics. I was playing around with TikTok. I've been posting these. By the way, I post these clips each week, usually on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I choose 3 clips. I don't know if I'm going to this week because I'm keeping this really short, but I wanted to get on here. But you can see my clips also on my TikTok account, which I started a month or 2 ago. Well, I've had it for like a couple years, but I started posting clips a month ago. And I've been doing 3 a week from this, edited from this podcast. So do check it out. That said, I was playing around on it. Their algorithm is like ridiculous. Like how good it is at like knowing your interests and just knowing what's like going to appeal to you. And there's also something interesting with the algorithm where like all 12 videos that I posted on there from this podcast, they're all getting like almost exactly like 200 and something views, like 240, 250, 260, but they're all within like the 200s. And it's like, how is that? What's going on with that? Does TikTok like release it to the masses for like a brief moment, and then once they gauge it, and then if it's like, okay, this isn't going viral, they pull it back right around the 200 something? Because there seems to be a pattern where it's getting all except one got like 250 hit views or something, and people were commenting for a while and you know, liking it and such, but then it's like disappears. It's like they're turning like an on switch on and letting it go into some realms of people, and then they're gauging how fiery, and then if it's not enough, they turn off the switch. Like, their algorithm works in a different way than any algorithm I've seen. But, you know, what they bring to you is it's exactly cued in to like what you're looking for, which is like a little bit spooky. And it just like they seem to know what you're looking for, and they seem to know what your just what your interests are. Because Instagram does it too. Like, Instagram's ads are out of control, which, by the way, I was saying like 3 years ago on this. I was saying that it was going to go even more than that, 4 or 5 years ago, that they were going to have ads that, you know, go specifically to the person, and it's doing that now. But TikTok's is like an up, like Facebook's algorithms, like still like very old school compared to Instagram and especially TikTok. It's not close, but I see why people have the appeal of this. I know people like talking about getting it banned and such, but that algorithm is out of control. I know a lot of people aren't even on it. But yes, so, you know, TikTok's quite the algorithm, and honestly, other than that, there hasn't been. I saw that the Titanic sub thing, what is it, submersive, that's been covered a lot, that they recovered the parts and that they found human remains in it. That seems strange. Like, I don't know. This is a strange topic, but like the bottom of the ocean, when that thing exploded, you would think that they were just obliterated or eaten by the fish or something. Like, so to find like remains was just strange to me. So I don't know how true that story is, but it's going to be interesting how that develops. I think that company, I mean, that company, they didn't get certified to do what they were doing. And they, like, how do you not get certified and still do it? And they were going against what the Coast Guard wanted. They were going against what other people in the industry, what their own engineers. Like, I don't see how there's not a criminal investigation against that company doesn't open, because like they were brashly not following the rules. And literally the owner, who passed away in this tragic accident, you know, was literally saying that he doesn't, that he lives to like break the rules. Like, don't be safe. Don't ever be safe. And I get that that's like, there's like the old quips where people say, gotta break the rules, but he wasn't really saying it like that. He was just saying that, like, I'm gonna break the rules and laws and ha ha ha. Well, it's cute to kind of say that as a quip about like a theory on how, as an entrepreneur, you have to go places, but like he was taking it to the next level there. And I got to question, they are going to be in some big trouble with that, because I just there's no way that you cannot get certified. And also, they were taking passengers. If you're not certified, you're going against what your own internal engineers and people in the industry are telling you to do. You're going against it all, and then you're taking passengers on your craft. Like, you're putting people's lives at risk. I mean, the stupidity involved in what, I mean, it's hard to fathom how they got away with stuff that long, as long as they did. Other than that, there's all the Russia stuff happening. There's RFK Jr.'s numbers are actually dropping in the poll because he's going on all these far right podcasts and right wing like he's literally dropping in the polls because of it. Okay, RFK Jr. is just getting hits. I don't think he really cares about the presidency that much. He's just getting promoted stuff. He's just doing stuff to raise his, his profile, which he's done. Madonna was hospitalized, but it appears Madonna is okay. That's sad and tragic. Hope she makes a full recovery there, because that was that did not sound good. Did you hear about this guy who Italian authorities are looking for a tourist who scratched Ivan and Haley 23 into one of the walls of the Coliseum? He faces up to 5 years in prison and a $16,000 fine if he's apprehended. So they're trying to find him. Like, what an idiot! Like, to go scratching that into there, and then now he's in deep trouble. What's happening with just all of this? What I was just saying is it's just out of control with social media and AI and where it's all going. What is, have you guys ever thought about, like, where is social media going to go next? Like, I mean, Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those, they aren't going to be around forever. I mean, we're not going to have them in probably 50 years from now. And if what do we graduate into from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube? Like, what comes next? Because it's hard to see, like, what's ahead. Like in the 1980s, we had no, like, just before internet was like coming around, we like had all these predictions and such, but before the internet, nobody really predicted internet, like in 1930, or 1940. Like, I mean, there might have been somebody who predicted some sort of abstract idea similar to it, but nobody knew exactly what that was. There's a famous talk show where he's talking about, is that internet? Was Al Roker? I forget who it was. But he's trying to contemplate in the 90s, like, what internet is. He's like, www. But anyway, it was something we didn't understand. So, like, I get that there are all these predictions and such about virtual reality and, like, chips in people's brains. And, like, there's just all these thoughts and ideas and concepts about the future and what's coming next. And oftentimes, what's coming next, and I'll wrap up on this because I got to keep it short today. Often what's coming next is something that people don't necessarily see coming. It's usually the thing that you don't see coming. So, like, we've got all these apps, and we've got all these social media platforms, and we've got, virtual reality everybody's talking about, and we've got brain chips everybody's talking about. But usually the thing that's coming next is the thing that you can't quite see yet, but that kind of combines everything, And people talk about virtual reality. I've said this on this before, but not everybody's interested in having a conversation with somebody like they're in your living room. Some people just want to talk on the phone or want to text. So I don't know what's quite next, but I don't think that it's going to be what people think. I think in 20 to 30 years, there's going to be something totally new that we can't really fathom right now what it is. And that's what you could have said in 1950 about internet. So, but it's going to take the tools we use now, social media and how we communicate and different ideas about stuff from brain chips and stuff. I think it's going to take all of that and it's going to combine it into a bigger version of everything, because creation is just about mixing. Like when you take if you're a painter, you take two colors on a color palette, you mix them together and you get something new, and we have all these things we're working with now, all these apps, all these social media platforms, everything that's happening with that. And the next thing, usually it combines what we have already. It combines things to create something we haven't thought of. So, and it usually comes pretty quick out of nowhere, like within 5 to 10 years, like internet did in the 90s, it usually comes on quick. So I think that what's coming next is something that people can't quite comprehend yet, but it will be interesting to see what happens. Keeping it short today, that's 20 minutes. Just want to go 20 minutes, update you guys. Hope all is well. I'll try to post a few clips from this in the next few days. I'm not sure how many I'll get posted, but I'll try. This was only 20 minutes today, but that's what I got for you. We'll go 30 or 45 next week and have 4th of July. I guess if I do it Tuesday, we'll be doing it on the 4th of July. So I will see you then for fireworks. Here at Launch Radio, we're the future, and the future is Launch Radio. Jeff Pilkington, good checking in with you guys. See you next week. Peace.